All right, let's talk about something that is, frankly, a total nightmare for any local business. Your Google business profile has been suspended. You need to get back on the map, and you need to do it fast. So, we're going to break down exactly what's happening, and more importantly, how you can fix it.
You know that feeling, right? That pit in your stomach when you go to search for your own business just to check on it and poof, it's gone. It's not there. You've completely vanished, and you have no idea why. It is so frustrating.
And that's the crazy part. It's not a slow fade. It happens literally overnight. With zero warning, your profile, all those great reviews you worked so hard for, your connection to customers, it's all just wiped clean from Google Search and Maps in the blink of an eye.
Now, this isn't just some annoying technical issue. No, this is a direct, painful hit to your bank account. The consequences are immediate, they are severe, and you really need to understand just how bad it is to see why fixing it is so urgent.
And believe me, the fallout happens fast. First, you're invisible on Google Maps, so all those potential new customers, they can't find you. Then, your phone just stops ringing because all those leads from Google are gone. And what happens next? Well, your revenue drops right off a cliff, and every single day you're suspended, that money is going directly to your competition. And the cherry on top? You try to get help from Google, and you just get sent in circles with canned responses that help absolutely nobody.
So let's be super clear about what a suspension actually is. It is an official removal of your listing by Google. This is not a bug or a glitch. Google has actively taken you down because its system thinks you violated a rule. And in doing so, they've basically shut off the fire hose of new customers for your business.
And you know, this quote right here from a client, Cartown, just says it all, doesn't it? We went around in circles with Google support with no help. That is the exact frustration. You try to play by the rules, you try to get help, and you just hit a wall. It's that feeling of being completely stuck that makes you realize you need a real expert.
Listen, if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. The absolute worst thing you can do right now is start firing off panicked, desperate appeals based on guesswork. You really only get one good shot to get this right, and that appeal has to be based on a correct diagnosis of the actual problem.
So how do we get out of this mess? How do you go from total chaos to having a clear plan? Well, there is a structured path forward. This isn't about crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. It's about a methodical plan to get your business back online. Let's walk through the 4 steps.
Okay, this 4-step process is designed to work the first time. It all starts with a free diagnostic, and this is key. This is to figure out the real reason you were suspended, not just guessing. Step 2 is all about gathering the exact right documentation that Google needs to see. So many people fail right here. Step 3 is submitting that one perfect, proper appeal. And finally, step 4, reinstatement, where an expert is handling all that back and forth with Google for you.
Now I know what you're thinking. How long is this going to take? And this is so important because it gives you a realistic time frame. If it's a pretty straightforward case, you could be back online in just 3 to 5 days. You know, most cases are actually resolved within 1 to 2 weeks. But if it's a really complex issue, or maybe you've been suspended before, it could take up to 30 days. It's all about managing expectations.
All right, so you know you need help. But who do you actually trust with your business? Because there is a huge difference between hiring a real expert you can talk to versus just handing your business's future over to some faceless, anonymous reinstatement team.
And this chart really lays out the 2 different worlds you're looking at. On one side, you've got an expert like Dave Sichel from Blueshirt Media. He's a real person, he's based in the US, has over 20 years of experience, and here's the kicker. He only takes cases he's actually confident he can win. On the other side, you've got these faceless agencies. Often outsourced, they might make huge promises, but have totally unverified expertise. You want to know who is fighting for you?
And we are not talking about just a handful of success stories. This is a track record of over 100 verified reinstatements on a platform like Upwork, where the reviews are real and the results are public. That kind of consistency is everything when your business is on the line.
And here's just one more client really driving that point home. See the keywords here? Professional and expertise. This isn't about finding some secret trick or loophole. It's about professionally navigating Google's complicated system with a deep understanding of how it actually works to get the right result.
Of course, this is probably the biggest question that's been nagging you this whole time. You're sitting there thinking, what on earth did I even do wrong? And you know what? It's often not something you did on purpose, but more of a simple misunderstanding of Google's very, very specific rules.
So let's look at some of the usual suspects. Address violations are a huge one. Using a P.O. box or a virtual office that doesn't have your staff there during business hours, that's a major red flag for Google.
Then there's keyword stuffing. That's when you add things like best deals or city's #1 service into your actual business name. Google hates that. And sometimes even just changing your address and phone number all at once can make the algorithm think your account's been hacked. A proper diagnostic is what separates the guesses from the real reason.
Okay, so you get the problem, you see the solution, you know there's a clear path to fix this. So what's the immediate practical thing you can do, like right now, to get started?
This is really the only question that matters now. Are you ready to stop the frustration, stop losing money every day, and finally get your business back in front of your customers again? If the answer is yes, then the next step is actually really simple.
Here's the most important takeaway. You do not have to guess your way through this nightmare. The very first, most critical step is to get a real diagnosis from an expert. And you can do that by booking a free, totally no-obligation 15-minute consultation. It is the fastest, smartest way to start getting your business back on the map.